Write short notes on the following components of display advertisement: image, body copy, and slogan. Image or illustration is the most eye-catching element of an advertisement. All advertisements may not contain images. Many companies use images of their products or people using their products to grab consumer attention. Body copy is the main text of an advertisement. It may take a minimalist approach, a line or two, or a single paragraph. Other advertisements may use quite heavy text with paragraphs of information. While the words are the most important part of the copy, visual elements such as indentation, pull quotes, bullet list, and tracking hand can help to organize and emphasize the message of the body copy. Slogan is a simple and a catchy phrase accompanying a logo that encapsulates the product's appeal or the mission of a firm. It makes the company name more memorable. It's also known as catchline, strapline, or tagline. Briefly explain the objectives of community radio. Community radio is a geographic specific and audience specific radio broadcast in FM mode. ഒരു പ്രത്യേക പ്രദേശത്തുള്ള ആളുകൾക്ക് ഒരു പ്രത്യേക വിഭാഗം ഓഡിയൻസിന് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള FM മോഡിലുള്ള റേഡിയോ ബ്രോഡ്കാസ്റ്റാണ് കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി റേഡിയോ. ഇറ്റ് സെർവ്സ് പോപ്പുലേഷൻസ് ഇൻ ഫാർ ഫ്ലങ് ഏരിയാസ്, കോസ്റ്റൽ ഏരിയാസ്, or in some areas where people live together as a community. Community radio facilitates individuals, groups, and communities to share their experiences and is considered as a participatory development communication initiative. These radios preserve local language and culture, traditions, and social norms. Write a short note on commercial radio. Commercial radio stations are owned and managed by private enterprises. Their survival is based on airing advertisements. Generally, commercial radio gives importance to entertainment programs like comedy talks, music programs, and celebrity chats. Red FM, Radio Mango, and Club FM are some of the examples of commercial radio stations. Define corporate communication. Joab Cornelison defines corporate communication as a management function that offers a framework for the effective coordination of all internal and external communication with the overall purpose of establishing and maintaining favorable reputations with the stakeholder groups upon which the organization is dependent. അടുത്ത ഡെഫിനിഷനാണ് ഇൻ്റർനാഷണൽ പബ്ലിക് റിലേഷൻസ് എൻസൈക്ലോപീഡിയ ഡിഫൈൻസ് കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ ആസ് എ മീൻസ് ഓഫ് സേഫ് ഗാർഡിംഗ് ദ പബ്ലിക് ഇമേജ് ഓഫ് എ കമ്പനി ആൻഡ് ഫർദർ എൻറിച്ചിങ് ഇറ്റ്സ് ഗുഡ് വിൽ. Write the name of any 3 special interest magazines: Sports Illustrated, Golf Digest, Field and Stream, Gentleman's Quarterly, Woman's World, Grahalakshmi, Vanida, Boys Life, Teens Vogue are some type of special interest magazine. Explain the following camera angles: bird's eye angle and Dutch angle. A bird's eye angle is an angle that looks directly down upon a scene. This angle is often used as an establishing angle along with an extreme long shot to establish a location. In Dutch angle, the camera is tilted laterally on a tripod, so it is no longer parallel with the horizon. A Dutch angle shot is also called oblique shot. It takes the straight line of the world and presents as diagonals. It is generally used to give an overwhelming sense of the world being unbalanced. Distinguish between search engines and web browser with suitable examples. Search engines is a software system designed to search information on the website. It works like an index on the last pages of a book for immediate reference to a topic or keyword. Search engines are essential tools to visit countless websites. If you type a keyword in the search engine column, the search result page will display information, images, and other graphics of that keyword referred to by thousands of web pages. Google and Yahoo are the most popular search engines. Web browsers are the tools that people use to access over the internet to obtain information that is published as part of the World Wide Web. Microsoft Internet Explorer, Safari, Firefox, and Google Chrome do three important things. It searches and finds information, retrieves information, and brings it back and renders the information for display on computer. Describe persuasive writing. Persuasive writing revolves around convincing someone. Persuasion requires great skill and effort to convince your readers to endorse your opinion or viewpoint. You write with the sole objective of persuading your readers. Persuasive writing utilizes the power of words to confidently and passionately convey a very important matter. Such writings are usually written with precision and authority. Persuasive texts are set out to argue and prove a case by presenting ideas that follow in logical progression. It aims to convince a targeted audience of the validity of a viewpoint on an issue by presenting logical arguments, anticipating and answering possible objections or opposing arguments. All types of persuasive writings should present well-researched evidence to support the case and also provide facts from authorities to prove or disapprove an argument. The most common forms of persuasive text include essays, editorials, letters to the editor, opinion articles, feature articles, interviews, speeches, and submissions. Explain the following user manual related terms: cover, abbreviation, warranty, and TOC. Cover. The cover of a user manual is the identity of the product as well as the company. The cover may contain the name, serial or model number, the logo, and slogan of the product. Abbreviations are created for lengthy technical jargons or phrases. These technical terms are to be explained well enough in the document. A glossary of abbreviations is usually given at the end of a technical document. Warranty. Warranty is a statement that contains the agreement showing the responsibility of the company on a product. It states that in case of malfunction or serious damage occurring within a designated period, the product will be replaced or repaired at the cost of the company. Next is TOC. The table of contents directs the user to locate his required information in the manual. Differentiate ham radio and internet radio. Ham radio or amateur radio is a popular hobby and service in which licensed amateur radio operators or hams run the communication equipment. Amateurs operate radio as a hobby with no monetary benefits. They often provide essential communication services when regular channels are unavailable due to natural disaster or other disruptive events. Next is Internet radio. Internet radio, also known as web radio, net radio, streaming radio, e-radio, online radio, etc., is an audio service transmitted via the internet. Internet radio services are usually accessible from anywhere in the world if internet connection is available. Radio Maska is India's first live internet radio station that provides Bollywood music 24 into 7. As on date 13th November 2014, All India Radio is live streaming its 4 channels on the internet. What are the functions of magazine layout? First point is to catch the reader's eye. The first function of a layout is to attract attention, to get the reader stop and look at each and every nook and corner of the page. Second point is to introduce a feature. The visual aspects of a page tell what the content is about and why it is of concern to the reader. Third point is to illuminate and amplify the content. Often the pictures, captions and an editorial note will add to the content of a story. They may tell the story from a different angle or give a background for the story so that it may be seen in perspective or furnish certain highlights. In short, this function of the layout is to complete and enrich the content. Next point is to keep the reader on the hook. The second or third page of a feature, while different in appearance from the first, must also be visually inviting. The idea here is to keep the reader continue reading and prevent him from putting the magazine aside because the pages look too formidable. And the last point is to express the magazine's character. The layout constitutes a chief means for revealing the slant or personality of the magazine. So we can summarize the points. First point is to catch the reader's eye. Second is to introduce a feature. Third one is to illuminate and amplify the content. Next is to keep the reader on the hook. And the last point is to express the magazine's character. Explain the following radio related terms: jingle and radio bridge. It has been proved that a musical message is often more memorable than a spoken word. A jingle is a small song or music piece used for advertising, promotion, or similar activities. Radio stations' promos are also produced as jingles, a form of sound branding. Next is radio bridge. Radio bridge means connecting different stations throughout the country or even foreign countries. In this technique, an expert sitting at a Chennai studio can interact with the common man or expert in the Delhi studio. This format was first used by All India Radio during elections. Cover story is the beacon of a magazine. Substantiate this statement. The cover story is the beacon in any magazine. It may refer to a story in a magazine whose subject matter appears on its front cover. The cover page quite often carries stunning headlines to facilitate a compulsive buying of the magazine. If the content does not come up to the expectations of the buyer, the magazine will not survive long. The cover story ought to be well written and it should contain solid documentation, ample details, and illustrative examples in smooth and clear prose. Write a short note on Charlie Chaplin. Charles Spencer Chaplin is one of the prominent film personalities in the silent era. He merged humor with life. His films became popular due to their wit and charm. The main characteristics of Chaplin's films are the combination of comedy and social tragedy combined with a clear political engagement and an increasing tendency towards pathos and sentimentality. He himself acted in several roles in these films. His films played as an important platform for social criticism. Some of his important films are The Tramp 1915, The Kid 1921, The Gold Rush 1925, The Circus 1928, Modern Times 1936, and The Great Dictator in 1940. Trace out the history of television in India. Television broadcasting industry in India had a humble beginning. It began in New Delhi on 15th September 1959 as an experiment under the All India Radio AIR. The early television programs consisted of an hour-long educational fair broadcast twice a week. Several community television sets were set up for receiving these programs in the rural areas of New Delhi and in the city of schools. The project was funded by the Ford Foundation. By the 1970s, television centers and studios were opened in other parts of the country. In 1976, television was delinked from AIR and it became Doordarshan under the Information and Broadcasting Ministry. In 1982, Doordarshan for the first time provided national coverage of the 9th Asian Games held in New Delhi using Insat 1A. The same occasion also marked the switching over to color transmission. By 1983, the government launched a huge expansion of Doordarshan. Several new transmitters were set up to carry television programs to the length and breadth of the country. Thus, around 75% of the population was covered by transmitters by the end of the 1980s. Doordarshan virtual monopoly of television broadcasting in India came to an end in the 1990s. The coverage of the Gulf War in 1991 by cable news network CNN, a US television news channel, propelled the arrival of satellite television in India. Satellite dishes were installed to capture the signals and cable operators provided satellite broadcasting to the households in the metropolitan cities. The Indian government launched a series of economic and social reforms in 1991 that further liberalized the television industry. Consequently, there was a tremendous growth of the cable television industry. Under the new policies, private and foreign broadcasters were permitted to engage in limited operations from India. Hong Kong-based Star Satellite Television Asian Region, a multinational television network, entered into an agreement with an Indian company and thus the CTV was born. It became the first privately owned Hindi satellite channel in the country. Star TV network introduced 5 television channels into the Indian broadcasting space that had been monopolized by Doordarshan. Soon, a number of private channels emerged with different categories of channels like 24-hour news channels, religious channels, cartoon channels, and movie channels. There was something for everyone to watch. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry has so far granted permission to 792 TV channels up to March 2014 as per statistics released by the ministry. Of these, 392 are news and current affairs channels and 400 non-news or general entertainment channels. And this is the history of television in India. What are the functions of corporate communication? A diversity of functions is performed by the corporate communication officers in an organization. First one is counseling. Corporate communication personnel give advice to management concerning policies, relationships, and communications. Second is research. They constantly study the attitudes and behavior of publics in order to plan corporate communication strategies. Such research can be used to generate mutual understanding and influence and persuade the publics. Third one is media relations. The officers maintain constant contact with journalists and bloggers seeking publicity from the organization. Fourth is publicity. They disseminate planned messages through selected media, including social media, to further the organization's interest. Fifth is employee relations. They respond to concerns of the employees by informing and motivating an organization's employees by providing regular work, good working conditions, fair compensation, opportunity for advancement. Sixth is community relations. The officers plan activities like outreach programs for the community to maintain an environment that benefits both the organization and the community. Seventh is government affairs. They directly communicate with legislatures and government departments on behalf of the organization. This is often called public affairs. It is done to expand a company's relationships with the regulators, legislators, and other government representatives. Eighth is issues management. They identify and address issues of public concern that would promote business prospects of the organization. Ninth is financial relations. They create and maintain investor confidence and building good relationships with the financial community. 10th point is industry relations. Relating other firms in the industry with an organization and with the trade associations, they develop essential industrial relations. 11th point is special events. They stimulate an interest in a person, product, or organization by means of a well planned event, activities designed to interact with publics and to listen to them. 12th point is marketing communications, combination of activities designed to sell a product, service, or idea, including advertising, publicity, promotion, direct mail, trade shows, and special events are tools to reach public. These are the functions of corporate communication. Write short notes on the following: Facebook, YouTube, and Wikipedia. First, we can see Facebook. Facebook is perhaps the most popular among the social media networks. As per the statistics on 1st December 2014, the estimated monthly visitors of Facebook is 90 crore. There are a number of things you can do with Facebook. You can list the events and create a group of netizens sharing some common interests. People post their photos and choose friends with whom they wish to keep in touch with. They exchange likes and dislikes. But one should be very careful about the postings and the likes. If you commit a mistake that is being watched by millions, says Dr. Srinath Srinivasan, a well known scholar and commentator of social media. Next is YouTube. YouTube is a website that allows users to upload, view, and share videos. It makes use of Adobe Flash Video Player and HTML5 to display a wide variety of user generated and corporate video. A visitor can watch or download movies, video clips, TV clips, music videos, and other contents such as video blogging, short original videos, educational videos, and 3D videos. Next is Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a free access, free content internet encyclopedia supported and hosted by the non-profit Wikimedia Foundation. Anyone who can access the site can edit almost any of its articles. Wikipedia is the sixth most popular website and constitutes the internet's largest and most popular general reference work. Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger launched Wikipedia on January 15, 2001. It promotes article writing in 288 languages, including Malayalam. Wikipedia is an open source project work. A member can write or edit an online article. Wikipedia is a good reference source for students, teachers, and journalists, but some experts say one should be skeptical about authenticity of contents of Wikipedia. And our last question is explain the various functions of advertising. Advertising is a form of communication that deals with people's feelings and emotions. It is shaped on the psychology of the buyer, especially in relation to his or her motives and attitudes. The major aim of advertising is the promotion of a product, brand, or service. The major functions of advertising are that it informs. A product needs an effective launching to hit the minds of the consumers. It must share the details about the product's quality, price, unique features, etc. Consumers obtain information about products from the advertisements they have read, viewed, and heard. Manufacturers often make changes in prices, channels of distribution, improve the quality, size, weight, brand, and packing. These changes must be informed to the public through advertisements. Example, SBT's print advertisement tells the consumers about a new deposit scheme. Here, the advertisement shares information like the name of deposit scheme, interest rate, benefits, etc. Second function is educates. Advertisements may carry messages intended for consumer education. They sometimes sell or popularize certain concepts. Government agencies educate masses with campaigns on a variety of topics like consumer rights, safe drive, literacy, child rights, etc. Advertising also educates consumers about price, quality, and availability of a product. Example, this social service advertisement advises the public not to consume alcohol while driving. It also cautions them about the after effects of such an act. Third point is it creates demand. The main objective of advertising is to create demand for a product in the market. This demand would set a favorable climate and acceptability among potential buyers. Once the product is established, frequent advertising reminds the buyers about its presence in the market. It may also induce new customers to notice the product. They may be convinced of the merits of the product through constant exposure to advertising. Example, the advertising of Idea 3G connection with the cut line No Fooling India creates demand for low priced smartphones and third generation networking. Next point is enhances competition. Another important objective of the advertisement is to encourage competition. Advertising is unavoidable to compete with or neutralize competitors' advertising. When competitors are adopting intensive advertising as their promotional strategy, it is reasonable to follow similar practices to neutralize their effects. In such cases, the manufacturer tries to create a different image for his product. Next point is establishes brand identity. Developing brand identity is one of the important functions of advertising. Through campaigns and striking messages, advertisers create an impressive image of the company in the minds of the audience. Such images make the audience loyal to the company or brand name. Thus, the brand loyalty helps to build emotional relationship between the audience and products of such brands. This increases the chances of some consumers preferring a particular brand. Hence, the advertising message finds success in winning the minds through brand identity. Next is promotes action. The purpose of advertising is to attract buyers through a call to action statement. This encourages the customer to visit a store or website to contact the advertiser for more information. Advertising is essentially an action catalyst. The ultimate aim of advertising is to pursue an audience into action. The AIDA formula of advertising explains this concept. Attention, at first the advertising grabs the attention. Interest, secondly the person becomes interested in the advertising message. Desire, the person is convinced of the claims and a desire to purchase. Action, the desire leads the person to purchase the product. So, attention, interest, desire, action is the AIDA formula of advertising. And the last point of functions of advertising is improves customer base. Any business requires a constant customer base in order to remain successful. The business needs to target its products and services to this customer base. The company creates new products that attract existing and new customers alike. Advertising helps to reinforce the buying motives of customers for a particular brand. It establishes long term relationships with customers, vendors, and stakeholders. Powerful and captivating advertisements pursue consumers to purchase a new product, try out services, and fulfill voids they feel are present in their lives. In fact, persuasion is one of the main functions of advertising. So many firms strive to create powerful persuasive messages that influence customers emotionally and rationally.